So good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 2023 pre-show to the annual awards program at Compeer Arena here at the Minnesota State Fair. My name is Kyle Thomas, and I will be your host for today. And today we have the opportunity to have some very special guests with us before we get started with our award show. But before we get into our guests, I'd like to thank our live stream sponsor, FormaFeed, as well as Bremer Bank for their continuous sponsorship for Minnesota FFA programs here at the State Fair. And we already have our very first guests with us, and some of them are no stranger to the FFA. So could you all please introduce yourself for everyone?
Hi, I'm Emma Kubal. I'm the 70th Princess K of the Milky Way, and I was in FFA from my 9th grade year to, I guess, 13. I was a state officer last year, so very involved.
Hi everyone, my name is Ann Simpson, and I'm a finalist for the 70th Princess K of the Milky Way. I'm from Pine Island, Minnesota, and I was also an FFA from my 9th grade year, kind of until my 12th grade year, and I was a region president the same year that Emma was, so we got to be connected in that way.
Hi, my name is Riley Ward. I'm from St. Charles, Minnesota, and I grew up on a custom heifer racing facility. I'm also a finalist for Princess K of the Milky Way.
Hi everyone, my name is Jalissa Beaudry, and I'm one of the finalists for the 70th Princess K of the Milky Way, and I grew up on my family's dairy farm in Otsego, Minnesota.
All right, so Emma and Ann, let's talk a little bit about your experience as an FFA. So obviously right now you guys have swapped out your blue jackets for some sparkly crowns. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey from being an FFA to now wanting to you, Emma, serving as Princess K, and then also Ann, you as a finalist?
Well, I joined FFA in my freshman year of high school, and I kind of had an interesting years in FFA. My chapter started with 15 members, and I had the experience of helping it grow to about 80 members last year, 70 when I was the president my senior year. And then my sophomore year of high school, I tried for a region office, and I didn't get it, and I was really sad, but I ended up being able to work on myself during COVID, and then I tried again the next year, and I got region president with Ann. And I made a lot of really great connections that year, which made me want to run for state office the year after that. And then I had a really great year last year with my teammates, and I grew a lot as a person, and I had a lot of experiences working with politicians and also going on different leadership events, learning about public speaking, stuff like that, and it just really helped me a lot for Princess K. So
Yeah, so I started my journey at FFA as a 9th grader. Originally I just thought FFA was another way to show livestock, but after my intro to ag class, I quickly learned that there's a lot more to it. I got really into the leadership portion of it, and like Emma mentioned, we were region presidents together, so I was region 8 while she was region 7, so that was really fun. I really enjoyed my roles in leadership because it allowed me to teach youth about what I'm passionate about, so that kind of transitions into being a finalist and being able to teach the public about something that I'm passionate about.
All right, so we're now on Labor Day of the Minnesota State Fair, day 12, final day of the fair. I know you guys have all had a long and busy fair. Can you tell our viewers maybe, what are some of the things that you've been doing here at the Minnesota State Fair?
So I've been here all 12 days. My responsibilities are mostly to talk with consumers about what dairy farming is like and how we care for our land and our animals, but we've also been able to go to some of the different dairy shows and do the butter sculpting contest, the milking demo right in front of the dairy barn too.
Yeah, so besides all of the promotional things we've been doing for dairy, we also each got our heads carved in butter. So that's a really fun experience, a one-in-a-lifetime experience for sure.
Last week I was before the Minnesota State Fair, I was actually at the Missouri State Fair, and there they have a butter cow just like they do at the Iowa Fair. So I was telling them all about our butter heads here and how they are pretty amazing. And you guys now all have your heads carved in butter. Can you maybe tell our viewers what are your plans now that you have a 90-pound block of butter? That's your twin.
So I'm gonna have a corn feed with mine, invite all of my friends, family, and neighbors, and I'm gonna donate the scraps because it's just so much butter.
Yeah, so actually my mom was a finalist 25 years ago and kept her head in the freezer, so we still have it. So the first thing we're gonna do is take like a photo shoot with our butter heads and then use some of the scraps for like family Thanksgiving, family dinner, and making family treats.
Personally, my plan is to keep it for a year, and then after that year is up, I'm going to turn in the baked goods, have a bake sale, donate all the money.
baked potato bar for anybody in Wright County to come out to. And there's 2 finalists from Wright County this year, so we're going to do it together.
Awesome. Well, very cool. And I guess one other question on my mind is there's a lot of different ways that we can enjoy dairy. I personally, I love dairy. I love, ice cream, cheese curds, everything at the fair, everything dairy. I've stopped in the dairy building multiple times to get ice cream. What's your favorite way to enjoy dairy?
I love Greek yogurt. I will have a strawberry banana smoothie every single morning that has a lot of yogurt in it because it has so much protein, and it's just a great way to start off your day.
Well, ice cream is one of my favorites. I am personally a big fan of cheese sticks because they're so easy. We always have them in our college. Well, we had them in our dorm, now our apartment. Quick, easy snacks. They taste good.
My personal favorite is butter. That's because I can add it to just about anything. I always say imagine toast without butter.
I love cheese. I have cheese on my omelets, mac and cheese, or cheese on even our cheeseburgers.
All right. And I guess our last thing is for Emma. Can you talk to us a little bit about what this upcoming year will look like for you as Princess K, and some of the other things that you're excited for to do in this role this year?
So I'm the official Goodwill Ambassador for the dairy industry this year. That means I get to go around and talk about dairy and why it's so good for us. And I'm really excited to do that, especially in classrooms and at industry visits to talk with consumers. But I think the biggest part I'm the most excited for is being able to connect with the farmers and hear their stories, and then be able to share those with the public so that they know how much we care for them and we want them to have good, healthy lives too.
All right. And then my last question that I have for you all is, what are you going to do after the fair? I mean, it's been a long, busy 12 days, so what are some of the things that you're excited to do once the fair is done?
Move into college. That is tomorrow's issue, though, so I'm going to enjoy the last day of the fair and really take it all in.
Awesome.
I'm excited to go back to Ames, go back to college, and be with my roommate and our deck mates, so our neighbors. We love to sit out on the deck and do our homework or eat supper out there, so I'm looking forward to spending time with them again.
I have to agree with Anne. It's always very nice when you get to hang out with your roommates, especially I'm looking forward to making more friends at college, considering this will be my first year.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to college and dive deep into the research that I'm working on.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this morning for our pre-show. And Emma, good luck with the rest of your year as the 70th Princess K.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we are going to go ahead and move on to our next guest for our pre-show today. And one of the most popular attractions here at the Minnesota State Fair is the CHS Miracle of Birth Center. And this morning we are going to be joined by 2 FFA members who are going to just talk a little bit about their experience. So good morning, and could you both introduce yourself for everyone, please?
Yeah, I'm Lizzie Vance from the Buffalo FFA chapter.
I'm Greta Casper from the Melrose FFA chapter.
All right, so is this your first time working at the Miracle of Birth Center?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome, and what species are you both working with?
So I'm working with the dairy cattle.
I'm with the swine.
All right, and can you talk just a little bit about, what is your role at the CHS Miracle of Birth Center, and maybe why is it so important that we have this exhibit to talk to fairgoers?
Yeah, so our daily chores look like taking care of the animals and also talking to the people that come through the Miracle of Birth Center and answer any questions they may have. And it's really nice to be able to work there because we're able to expand agriculture and have people that don't really live on a farm or don't understand to be able to understand what we do and how we make it work for a living.
Yeah, I just kind of hold a baby pig, and they all come pet it, ask how old it is, and ask all their questions, and we just answer most of them.
Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about maybe why you wanted to work at the Miracle of Birth Center, or what was your motivation behind coming here to the Minnesota State Fair?
Yeah, so the Miracle of Birth Center is something I always wanted to do. I came to the fair so much as a kid. I've been so interested in it. So once I had the opportunity to come and work at it, I took the opportunity, and I'm glad I did. It's a super fun experience.
I have a lot of people from my chapter who come and do it throughout the years, so I've heard a lot of great things about it. So I was just really motivated to come, and it's been a really fun experience.
Awesome. Could you maybe highlight some of your most favorite things, maybe it was an interaction you had with a fairgoer, the chance to work with these young animals?
So my favorite experience, it's not just one, it's when the fairgoers, you explain a question to them and they get the aha moment and they kind of just understand why we do it, and it's just so rewarding to see them to understand why agriculture is the way it is.
My personal favorite is when all the little kids come and they're so in awe of it because they've never really seen it or interacted with any of these before, so they just find it really interesting, and that just makes me really happy.
Yeah, I think you both exactly hit on it, that like we have a lot of people here that come here that maybe this is their very first time experiencing agriculture, and we get to do it in a very hands-on way, and we get to show them up and close how our animals are being taken care of every day, and how farmers care to grow the food that everybody else at the fair is going to eat, because there's a lot of food at the fair.
Yes.
And so none of that can happen without farmers, and so it's really important for us to teach others about that. All right, now let's get into maybe some more fun questions. You've been at the fair all weekend. Maybe what is your favorite fair food that you've had so far?
I would say, well, the go-to spot is the Blue Moon Dine-In, and their breakfast is to die for.
Yeah, my favorite was the Blue Ox, which is right next to the MLBC. I got the breakfast sandwiches like every morning, and they were just really good, and they filled you up pretty fast.
Awesome. Now, can you both talk a little bit about some of the other things that you do within FFA? This is just one of many activities that FFA members can get involved with. So can you maybe touch a little bit about, some of the other competitions you do or any offices that you hold?
Yeah, so we compete in CDEs and LDEs, so I compete specifically in market plan, and that's where we create a marketing plan for a company. And then also there's a lot of leadership roles, so right now I'm holding the title of a Region 4 Sentinel, and then also my chapter's reporter.
I'm in the CDE of floriculture, so I work with flowers, study them, learn about them, and at my chapter I am the chapter officer, so I am the secretary.
Awesome. And school will both be starting up for you guys tomorrow,
Yes.
Which means that we have another exciting year coming up in FFA
Yes.
and within school. So can you maybe talk about what are some of the things that you're excited for this upcoming year?
I'm excited for just seeing the members flourish as they grow further into FFA, and just just knowing that our next generation of agriculturists are starting out good with FFA, and that they have someone to turn to with someone as an officer role.
I'm really excited to make all the new connections and invited a lot of new kids into our chapter, and then of course state convention and all of those fun things, because you just really get to interact with a lot of people.
Yeah, those are some very fun opportunities, and when I was an FFA member, and those were definitely some of my favorite memories, and so I'm really glad that you all are able to share those experiences, and thank you all so much for sharing your experiences here at the Minnesota State Fair, because it's really valuable to have so many fairgoers get to learn about agriculture, just like we all have. So thank you so much for joining us on our pre-show this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and invite up our next guest to the stage. We have Allison Morell, and she's currently serving as the Minnesota FFA State Secretary. So good morning, Allison.
Good morning.
All right. It's the last day of the fair. How are we feeling?
Pretty good. Pretty energized, excited to kick off our awards ceremony.
Awesome. Now, I know you've been at the fair more than just FFA weekend right now. So can you touch a little bit on what you've been up to at the fair so far?
Lots of different things, all the way from eating food to going to our livestock shows. It's been a fun time. Some of the highlights, though, have being able to go to our first ever rabbit show at the state fair, and then also our first ever poultry FFA show. So those are pretty cool to attend.
Awesome. I think it's so cool that our shows continue to expand as FFA continues to grow. Let's maybe talk a little bit more about your role as a state officer. Can you talk a little bit about, what are some of the things that you and your team have been up to this summer?
This summer has been filled with so many incredible activities, from our summer conferences, SLCCL State Leadership Conference for chapter leaders, and our State Green Hand Leadership Conference, all the way to going to Washington, D.C. for State Officer Summit, and meeting with our sponsors and supporters as well. It's been a wild ride, and we're loving every moment.
Awesome. And you're now transitioning from high school to college.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about how that's been? And
It's been going well. I moved in this yesterday. It's been a week now, and so it's been great. I haven't spent a lot of time on campus yet because I've been here, but I'm excited. Classes start tomorrow, and so ready to dive in.
It is really nice that we can literally see campus right from here.
Yes.
So can you maybe talk a little bit about, now that we're transitioning into the school year, what are some of the things that we are looking forward to in the coming months for FFA?
In the coming months, we have a lot of region conferences happening. I'm going to the Region 4 conference in just a few weeks, actually, and I'm so excited. And my teammates are also going all around throughout the state to attend those. Some of them are for chapter leaders, some of them are for Green Hands. And so we're excited to just dive in. And really, most of our conferences have been at the state level, but now we get to go down and really meet those members at the region levels.
Yeah, I think when we have the opportunity to connect with a larger audience and you and your team getting to experience that, I think is a really cool opportunity. And thank you for your service as a state officer. It's not an easy task, but it can be very rewarding at the end of the year.
Thank you. And yours as our National Officer Candidate and PSO.
Yeah. So, all right, let's maybe switch over to a little more fun. We asked our FFA members, what's your favorite fair food so far?
I love the all-you-can-drink milk here. You can get for only $2, and you can just keep going back throughout the day. And I was there a few times yesterday, and I got my milk, and it was highlight of the day.
Yeah, and it's super awesome. I love going to the all-you-can-drink milk stand too, and it's really nice because it's right across from the Miracle of the Birth Center and the FFA chapter house, so it's a very convenient location for people to go get their fix of milk after they've gone and seen the animals in the Miracle of Birth Center.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you want our viewers to know about FFA, either coming up this year or just talking about your experiences?
Yeah, as an individual and speaking for my team as well, we're excited to meet everybody from supporters all the way to our members. And so if you see us anywhere, shout out to us and just say hi because we are so happy to see you.
Awesome. Well, Allison, thank you so much for joining me this morning. And we'll see you in the award show later today.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, our next guest, we have a few guests that are going to join us. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, could you both introduce yourself for our viewers, please?
Val Arsvold, the Executive Director of the Minnesota FFA Foundation.
I'm Joe Ramstead. I am the Agriculture Teacher and FFA Advisor at Rockford Schools.
All right. Can you both talk a little bit about your role at the fair and some of the things that you've been up to this summer?
Yeah. So this year at the fair, I'm working at the CHS Miracle of Birth Center as a manager. And we also created a horticulture competition within the FFA. So this year I am the Assistant Superintendent of the Horticulture Division as well.
Well, and my role hasn't been quite as defined as Mr. Ramsted's here. I've come up to help with the telethon earlier in the week. I've come here to help with the FFA exhibit at the Chapter House and Leadership Center. So involved, but not at the same level of 24/7 like Mr. Ramsted.
All right. Well, Mr. Ramstead, I'd love to talk to you a little bit more from the position of an agricultural teacher. You know, our programs in Minnesota and really across the nation continue to grow, but one of the biggest things that we are faced with right now is we have a shortage of agricultural teachers. So can you talk about just the need for agricultural teachers right now in agricultural education?
Yes, so career technical education is a very broad area and encompasses things like food science and shop classes and agriculture classes. And agriculture education teachers are licensed to teach all of those different areas within their programs. And as a result of that, there is a growing demand for agriculture education teachers. I believe there are still almost a dozen positions this year that were not filled just because of the sheer demand of programs. But as our programs continue to diversify and offer new classes and opportunities for students, the demand for ag teachers continues to grow. So.
Well, I think that's a good segue to talk about the Minnesota FFA Foundation and why we're involved in helping support this. So we recognize the value of agricultural educators, and so when people donate to the Minnesota FFA Foundation, some of those dollars go right back to recruitment and retention efforts of our teachers. We'd like to pretty much clone Mr. Ramstead here and other teachers that give of themselves and help guide that experience for their students. And so, again, by investing in the Minnesota FFA Foundation, you're helping grow new teachers for our classrooms.
Awesome. And let's just talk a little bit more about the membership growth that we're seeing and how organizations like the Minnesota FFA Foundation are working to support that. So what are some of the things that the foundation has been up to recently in order to both support our membership growth as well as continue to support our teachers, like you had mentioned?
Yeah, so we do a number of things. We always welcome donations of any size. They all make an impact. But we held a telethon, and that was really to help tell the story and get people to realize, like, this is what happens when you donate. You're investing in a student who today might have a skill set or goals, but down the road we're helping to shape so that they know how to be successful in their career. So the foundation exists to help provide that support. We do it in a variety of ways. We also have a Blue Jacket Bright Futures program, which last year placed over 500 jackets with students to help them kind of spur them on to really great things in the FFA. And Joe, I know you've had some students who have benefited from some of our programs.
Yes, absolutely. I had, I believe, 3 students this year receive, and then also my first FFA jacket as a 9th grader was to the Blue Jackets Bright Futures as well. So it's definitely kind of made an impact for many generations. Awesome.
And this is really the time frame that we're talking about, the Blue Jacket Bright Futures program. It's our way to help welcome students into the classroom, into the FFA experience. And so if you see some of the things on social media, we encourage everybody to get behind that program and help support students.
I think giving students the opportunity to have their very own jacket really makes them feel like they belong in the organization even more than they already do. So, but another program that, or another thing that we do, that the foundation does, that's been instrumental to supporting programs is the agricultural license plate. So Val, could you touch a little bit on the license plate and maybe why our viewers should get it if they haven't already?
Right, well, thank you for that segue. So the agricultural license plate has been available for over a year now. As of a few months ago, we learned that we had over 2,500 plates out on the road. What that really means is that over $25,000 annually will go to support Minnesota FFA programs, as well as another $25,000 to Minnesota 4-H for their agricultural programs. The plate is a compilation of a lot of the students' designs that have been submitted, and it has a lot of symbolism in here. And the exciting thing is the rising sun is in here, and as you know, our FFA advisors know and guide their FFA students through, the rising sun is a token of a new era in agriculture. The hands on the plate represents the state green or the chapter green hand degree, as well as the 4-H's My Hands to Larger Service. The hands are of different colors, skin tone to represent the diversity. Everybody is welcome in the FFA, and we want to grow opportunities, as well as the size. The smaller hands represent the youth. The larger hands that are embracing those are the adult mentors. So a lot of symbolism in there. We really do hope people get involved, get that agriculture plate, and really, start something pretty special out on Minnesota highways, and that's celebrating agriculture, which is Minnesota's second largest economic commodity. And so it's pretty important to celebrate and invest in the future.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten my license plate. I'm sure
Mine are in the mail.
Awesome.
Just got them last
yours
week.
are on the way.
Yep.
So if you haven't already, please consider getting the agricultural license plate, as it does contribute both to the Minnesota FFA Association as well as Minnesota 4-H, which are both organizations that are really focused on developing student leaders.
Well, Kyle, I have to turn it on you a little bit. You were gracious and agreed to host today because you're getting ready for something, and we'd love for our viewers to know what you're preparing for coming up in the next couple of months.
Yeah. So I was selected this past spring to be the national officer candidate for the state of Minnesota. And so coming up in just 7 weeks, I'll be heading to Indianapolis, where I'll be completing a week's worth of interviews in hopes of becoming one of the 6 next national FFA officers to represent the over 945,000 members across the nation.
Why do you want to represent Minnesota? Like, I think I know, but do our viewers understand what kind of opportunity this will be if you're given that opportunity?
Yeah, it's a very big opportunity. It's a very big responsibility, but through the opportunities that I've had in FFA and through the support that I've received from other people and through the skills that I've learned about, it's really made me realize that I want to continue giving back on a bigger level. And so I realized that this is one potential way that I can really continue to serve the FFA while I still have the opportunity to wear the blue FFA jacket. And so I'm just really grateful for all of the support that I've received. I've received a lot of support from the Minnesota FFA Foundation in order to support my training. And so I'm really grateful for that. And I'm grateful for Mr. Ramstead, who's now kind of my new advisor to support me and to make sure that I have everything I need to represent Minnesota on the biggest stage in FFA.
And how did you prepare for this? I mean, I know that you've been at it for a while, but what are some of the steps that you've been put in place?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of different things to prepare. I've been focusing on learning about different areas of agricultural knowledge because I didn't grow up in an agricultural background, so I didn't necessarily have that knowledge growing up. I've been, getting involved in as many opportunities as possible. I'm heading to Washington, D.C. next week to get to learn a little bit more about the Farm Bill with the National Farmers Union. I get to attend a training in Texas with all the other national officer candidates to just make sure that I'm ready for each of the rounds, and I'm really excited for the months ahead.
Perfect. Well, hey, Kyle, tell our audience what we're getting ready for now, because we're going to transition here in a moment.
Yeah, well, we are getting ready to start the 2023 annual awards program here at Compeer Arena at the Minnesota State Fair. And we are just really excited to celebrate another year of awesome FFA members at the Minnesota State Fair. And we're gonna send it over to our award show. Thank you for joining.
Good morning, everyone. Our program's on their way. Quick thing with the live stream, the internet went down for a split second. So if you have friends or family at home that want to watch, please have them go to the Minnesota page on YouTube, and there is a new link up here. All right, and with that, we will get started. Welcome and good morning to the State Fair FFA Awards Program sponsored by Bremer Bank. We are excited to be here on the last day of the State Fair to recognize our FFA members and chapters for their accomplishments in SAEs and work-based learning projects across the fair, from livestock projects to agricultural mechanics and everything in between. This morning, we are recognizing FFA members for their successes that have been displayed across the fair. From down here in the livestock arenas to the horticultural arena, our students have a variety of passions and talents, and we have had 850 members from 116 chapters enter exhibits for competition in 2023. The individuals we will celebrate this morning are the very top competitors in each of their fields. Joining us today to celebrate student success are some distinguished guests. Please stand to be recognized, and we will hold all applause until after all guests have been introduced. Starting out is Bremer Bank, sponsor of the State Fair FFA Awards Program. Jill Nuthie, Minnesota State Fair Competition Office. Marie Lefebvre, Minnesota State Fair Competition Office. Pam Conan, Chair of the Minnesota Association of Agricultural Educators, State Fair Committee. Lavin Rada, Minnesota FFA Association Executive Director. Jim Ertl, CHS Miracle Birth Center Superintendent. TJ Brown, FFA Superintendent of the Minnesota State Fair. Gordy Tongas and Joe Skapansky, and the rest of the Minnesota State Fair Board of Managers. And if there are any additional members of the Board of Managers, we would like you to stand and be recognized as well. And then Steve Polk, Minnesota Livestock Breeders Association. Thank you for all of your continued support to the FFA. Today's Livestock Awards will be presented by the Superintendent or coordinators who have overseen those shows the past few days. The superintendents will announce the animals in the 5th through 1st place. First place animals will be photographed at the backdrop, and all other exhibitors are asked to leave the area when their species is complete. First off, we'd like to thank our co-superintendents, Ms. Pam Coonan and Mr. Ryan Steele for their work with our swine. Please welcome Mr. Ryan Steele for our first area recognition for the Supreme Champion Breeding Swine.
Good morning, everyone. We had a really great swine show this year. Obviously, we don't have any of those critters down here, just like anybody in other species. We'll go ahead and get right at it in the top 5 in no particular order. Kaylee Steele had one of the top 5 with Chester White. She also had a Duroc in the top 5 from the Lewis Alberta FFA chapter. Allison Bergman from the Stillwater FFA chapter had her spotted field. Here from those, please come on down.
Thank you, Mr. Steele, and congratulations to our Supreme Champion Breeding Swine. Please help me welcome Mr. Kelly Schmidt, our Beef Superintendent, to celebrate our beef exhibitors.
Thank you and good morning. And kind of like Ryan Steele just said, we had an outstanding beef show yesterday. Really good showcase of animals right here in this building. Registered composite was Gloria Hansen from Austin, and your champion limousine was Justice Mosier of the Morris Area FFA. They judged those animals at the very end of the show yesterday, I should say, and the two judges worked together to pick their Supreme Champion, and that Supreme Champion female was the Foundation Senetal, exhibited by Hannah Wetzel of Faribault. Let's congratulate her.
Thank you, Mr. Schmidt, and congratulations to all of those champions. Next, please help me welcome Mr. Patrick Pearson, our Dairy Assistant Superintendent, to present the Dairy Awards.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to thank the competition office, all the volunteers that helped during the dairy show. We have it in here. We have 2 rings. We have the South ring and the North ring. Ayrshire breed, Candace Spearman, Triton FFA, Brown Swiss, Garrett Waldenberger, Spring Grove FFA, Great Holstein, Evelyn Scheffler, Kenyon Wanamingo FFA, Jersey, Summer Shepherd, Princeton FFA, Milky Shorthorn, Candace Spearman, Triton FFA, Registered Holstein, Candace Spearman, Triton FFA, Red White Holstein, Matthew Scheffler, Kenyon Wanamingo FFA. And the other breeds, Nicole Anderson, Buffalo Lake Hector. Let's give them a round of applause for being successful at Grand Champion animals. This year's Supreme Champion goes to Evelyn Scheffler of Kenyon Wanamingo FFA with her Great Holstein. The next award is the MDA Special, and this year it goes to Princeton FFA. Please come forward if you are here. And thank you for everything everyone does, and that's all I have.
Let's hear it one more time for our dairy exhibitors and all of them who have volunteered to make these shows a success. Finally, please welcome Superintendent Darcy Dana to recognize our sheep exhibitors.
It was very hot. If you were in the ring, you know what I mean. But we had some great champions this year. In alphabetical order, Baby Doll Southdown by Riley Joyner from Litchfield, Columbia, Mariah Geyser from New York Mills, Corridale, Elijah Geyser from New York Mills, Champion Dorset, Hannah Kreidermacher from Lewiston, Altura, Hampshire, Adriana Wedlin from Kenyon Wanamingo, Natural Colored, Elijah Geyser from New York Mills, Champion Rambouillet, Elijah Geyser from New York Mills, Southdown, Laura Brinkman from Goodhue, Suffolk, Kayleen Poulis from Caledonia, Other Meat Breeds, Adriana Wedlin from Kenyon Wanamingo, Other Wolf Breeds, Laura Brinkman from Goodhue, and Commercial U/Weather Dam, Maura Schwartz from Fillmore Central. Let's give those champions a round of applause, please. Our supreme champion breeding sheep female was the Natural Colored from Elijah Geyser from New York Mills. We also have an award called the Hickman Rookie Award for first year sheep showman. And our first year sheep showman, the Hickman Rookie Award goes to Grant Kraft. If you're here, please come forward.
Thank you, Ms. Dana. Let's have one last round of applause for all of our livestock exhibitors. One of the things FFA members have been doing this week that you will not see any awards for is working just down the street at the CHS Miracle of Birth Center. Those FFA members may not be in this building right now, but they have been working hard in 15-hour shifts for 4 or 5 days at a time, caring for livestock, guiding newborns into this world, and welcoming thousands of fairgoers a day into our world of agriculture. As we mentioned earlier, the fair is filled with student opportunities and beyond the within and beyond the livestock farms. Our next champions have experienced success within those skills they have been owning off the fairgrounds and have put to the test over the last few days. We will recognize the way these champions round out the excellence FFA members have brought to the fair for the next segment of our awards show. Award recipients should make their way around the pipe and drape when their name or area is called. Our next recognition area supports the efforts of youth who have thrived at the state fair as they prepare for life after high school. Please help me welcome Dr. Lavin Rada, our FFA Association's Executive Director, to celebrate State Fair Scholarship recipients.
Good morning. With the following State Fair recipients, please come forward. Evelyn Scheffler, Katie Ketchum, Isaiah Berger, Sophia Poquette, Mariah Geyser, Amanda Souter, Allison Morrell, Brooke Alto, and Madison Simon. And congratulations to our scholarship recipients.
Congratulations to our recipients, and thank you, Dr. Rana. This year, Minnesota FFA is celebrating 76 years at the State Fair. Last year, during our 75th anniversary, we had the opportunity to begin recognizing many of the legends who created a strong foundation for FFA at the State Fair. Our next award is to recognize families with long-standing participation in FFA at the Minnesota State Fair. Please help me welcome Ms. Tam Coonan to announce our recipients of the 3-Generation FFA Family Award.
Thank you. On behalf of Minnesota Association of Agricultural Educators and the Minnesota State Fair, it is my honor to recognize the Albrecht and Case family as a 3-generation exhibitor at the Minnesota State Fair.
Congratulations to our recipients, and thank you, Ms. Coonan. Next, we'd like to thank Mr. Nick Milbranch, our Assistant Superintendent of the Ag Technology area, for his direction of the Ag Technology competitions. Please welcome Mr. Tim Eulenkamp to recognize all of our Ag Mechanic champions.
I'm Tim Eulenkamp, Nick Milbranch can't be here because he ran livestock home. So we get to see, without the livestock here, we get to see all the Ag Mechanic stuff up here. So that's really fun. We had a lot going on this year. We added some live contests. Friday we did small engine stare down. Saturday we built benches. And then yesterday, because of the heat, we didn't do the welding portion. So we'll push that off till next year. So let's go through our Ag Literacy Division individual champions. Reserve champion is Caitlin Marquette from KMS. Champion is Alex Schroeder of New Ulm. Acme Tool Ag Mechanics Prize winners, Division F. Mason Olson from KMS. They will receive a DeWalt drill. Champion Division I, Landon Steinfat from Hayfield. Again, the DeWalt drill, and that is the tractor that you see in front of you. And the bench, the table, the side table was the first division winner. Fastenal Ag Mechanics, Class H2, receiving a welding helmet, Carly DeGrood from Bethlehem Academy. And that is the metal bench in the front. Justin Hoffman is Class Division H3 winner from GFW. They will also receive a welding helmet. Class winner H4, Andrew Burns from GFW, and they will receive a welding helmet. Those two projects were the sign and the hay feeder. Best in show of all of the H division goes to Carly DeGrood from Bethlehem Academy, and that is the grand champion welder. So they received the welding. Congratulations to that. That's the bench. Live competitions, engine teardown rebuild. And if you didn't, there's a group up there, we're up at the Big Ideas trailer. That was awesome. We have 5 kids up there with an engine teardown setup. The fastest time was 1 hour and 27 minutes. Full teardown, full rebuild, start and run for 30 seconds. We had 9 individuals participate in 2 heats. So 9 engines tore down, 5 ran, 4 didn't. One of the 4 is in parts in one of these boxes. And I think we've made notes, but for the small engines tear down and rebuild, the school that the student represents gets 10 of those engines, and the student themselves get 1, okay? I'm going to put a plug in here. We have a ton of prizes in this egg mag area. That's why we brought this up. Live competitions, we're giving away welders. These mechanics projects, we're giving away drill sets and welders and so on and so forth. If this is a skill that your chapter has, or you have students that want to do this, bring them up for a day. That student who just walked away with prizes, she just got $600 worth of prizes. Okay? Do it. Try it. All right, so back to, I'll go back. I'm live, right? Engine tear down and rebuild. Heat 2, reserve champion goes to Lucas Preem of Robbinsdale, Armstrong Academy, or Armstrong FFA. Heat 2 champion, Justin Johnson of Robbinsdale Armstrong FFA. And the Heat 1 the winner overall, Heat 1, reserve champion, Grant Cuvis from Medford was the Heat 1 reserve. And our overall champion goes to Mitchell Christian from Sock Center FFA. Congratulations. And I'm going to put a plug into him. Him and his family were up there at 4 o'clock. If you've not been up to the Big Ideas trailer, it is a 17-mile hike. Him and his family were there at 4 o'clock. They were there. We told them to leave because we were setting up. But him and his family stayed the entire time. That kid helped everybody. He was there, and that's what we like to see. That's what these competitions were about. He was there. We lost some parts. He was looking. He deserves this championship, and he did an awesome job. He tore his engine down in less than an hour, tore his engine down in less than 20 minutes, got it back together in less than an hour, and it was started at 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay? If you need somebody to wrench on your stuff, that's the kid I'd hire to wrench on my stuff. Woods contest we did yesterday. We built 4 benches, teams of 2. Reserve champion goes to Taylor Wood and Zoe Doctor from Lacoparo Valley. And they received the winner will receive a set of Milwaukee tools. The champion goes to one of the pairs from Sleepy Eye, Nolan Weicherding and Lily Calavig from Sleepy Eye FFA. They get the pairs, they get the team, each of them gets a tool set. Congratulations to them. Supreme Champion exhibit. So this is the championship row. Supreme Champion overall goes to Carly DeGrood from Bethlehem Academy with her bench. High Point individual goes to David Thaden of Wilmer FFA. And the last one, and I'll get off the mic. The overall Egg Mechanics Premier Chapter goes to Medford FFA. Congratulations to everybody. Thanks for bringing your projects, and thank you to all the sponsors.
Thank you, Mr. Eulenkamp. We have more than 350 student-registered projects as part of this year's craft show. Their work has been on display throughout this entire fair in the horticulture program. Would Ron Kelsey, our assistant superintendent, please come forward to share our results? As results are shared, please come forward when your name is called. Champions are. Our 2023 Crops Division champions are ear corn, Quinton Bolt of Red Rock Central FFA. With wheat, also was Quinton Bolt of Red Rock Central FFA. Shell of corn, Quinton Bolt of Red Rock Central FFA. Oats was Rachel Tusa of Jackson County Central FFA. Soybeans, Quinton Bolt of Red Rock Central FFA. Sunflower oil seeds was Ben Capistran of Crookston FFA. Organic grain was Connor Strong of Sleepy Eye FFA. Our top award winners are, for Best of Show was the Ear of Corn for Quinton Bolt of Red Rock Central FFA. And our Best of Show overall was also Quinton Bolt of Red Rock Central FFA. Our High Point first year individual was Ben Capistran of Crookston FFA. Our High Point individual is Quinton Bolt of Red Rock Central FFA. Our High Point first year chapter was Crookston FFA. And our point chapter is Sleepy Eye FFA.
On designated days of the Minnesota State Fair, ag, food, and natural resources agricultural education programs and FFA chapters were selected to conduct an interactive exhibit or demonstrate about agricultural activities or skills. Individual students and FFA chapters spent the week engaging with visitors at the FFA chapter house, teaching about a variety of topics, and showcasing their SAE and work-based learning projects. Please help me welcome Dr. Ladagrana back to the podium to introduce our champions of the demonstration and interactive chapter exhibits.
This is a second year competition, and we have 14 exhibitors. Just like our agricultural technology exhibits, they are some amazing prizes for our demonstrations. Our individual pairs or teams have prizes of up to $300 for doing 3 presentations that are 15 minutes long. And our chapters can earn up to $1,000 for 3 presentations that are about an hour long. So definitely an opportunity to demonstrate the amazing things that you know and walk away with some really great cash prizes. This year, our grand champions for team demonstrations from the Glencoe Silver Lake FFA chapter, Anna Siebert and Emma Salzberg. And our grand champion chapter, Sleepy Eye FFA, with their ag safety demonstrations. Congratulations.
On Friday, FFA members from across the state judged several different livestock animals, including dairy, beef, swine, and sheep. They look for the best animals that will produce the healthiest and wholesome foods for people who want to eat their products. As part of the dairy judges competition, individuals handling the animals were evaluated too. Dan Dilla, our assistant superintendent of judging contest, was unable to be here today. Let's give him a round of applause for all of you guys. Our dairy handler contest results. Our top dairy handler this year was Matea Quigley of the Randolph FFA chapter. Our dairy cattle judging results. For individuals, in third was Mallory Forson of Howard Lake Waverly Winstead FFA. Second was Mason Blessing of Howard Lake Waverly Winstead FFA. And our first place individual was Isaac Check of Royalton FFA. Our team results for dairy judging. In third was Foley FFA. Second, Randolph FFA. And in first place was Howard Lake Waverly Winstead FFA. Now for our livestock judging results. Our individuals. In third was Wyatt Herman of Randolph FFA. Second was Will Alice of Blue Earth area FFA. And first place goes to Allison Van Derden of Pipestone area FFA. Our team results. In third was Blue Earth area FFA. In second, Pipestone Area FFA. And in first, Pipestone Area FFA. Once again, let's congratulate all of our contestants.
The Minnesota State Fair is the last opportunity of the school year for Minnesota FFA members to demonstrate the results of their Supervised Agricultural Experience program. Let's welcome Mr. Joe Ramstead, Assistant Superintendent of the Horticulture, to share our results for the vegetable and our chapter landscaping booth.
This is the first year that we had a vegetable and potato competition, and we'd like to see some additional growth in this in the future. This year, our student champions are in second place, Taylor Wood from the Lapoparle Valley FFA chapter. And winning is Jaden Schaefer of Glencoe Silver Lake FFA chapter. Our chapter champions for this year in second, Lapoparle FFA. And our grand champion, Glencoe Silver Lake FFA. Congratulations. Our next set of champions worked in teams to develop the landscape exhibits featured next to the FFA Chapter House and CHS Miracle of Birth Center. Will our finalist chapters please send a representative forward? As we share the results, please step forward for recognition. Our landscape booth results: in second place, Buffalo FFA. And our first place is Dassel Cokato FFA. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Ramstead. Congratulations to all the chapters who helped make FFA look so good with your landscapes this year. If you have not already, you should take the time to see the incredibly beautiful landscape designs they created around the theme of landscaping for color, especially before you head home today. Chapters that competed in the landscape booth can pick up their feedback and ribbons following the awards program. Our next area of recognition is for the tractor driving event held earlier this weekend. Would our identified finalists please make your way forward? The tractor driving event features a written exam, safety and maintenance components, and a driving challenge. We will recognize 2 top teams and 2 top individuals. As we share the results, please step forward for recognition. Our top 2 individuals were: second, Brendan Gemshed of Tri-City United FFA, and then first is Jackson Brewers of Randolph FFA. For our team results, in second was Tri-City United FFA, and our first place team goes to Randolph FFA.
The next area of recognition is for herdsmanship. Herdsmanship recognizes chapters with the most impressive exhibits within their species, focusing not only on how clean and healthy animals and their pens or stalls are, but also the conduct and cooperation of the exhibitors themselves. We will start with beef. So our first place individual, if they could come down, is Aubrey Haplow of Springfield FFA. Moving on to our chapters. In third place, if you can stand to be recognized, is Southland FFA. In second place, receiving a plaque, is Foley FFA. And in first place for the beef is also receiving a plaque is the Waterville Elysian Morristown FFA. Moving right into our dairy cattle, which is sponsored by Midwest Dairy. Our first place individual receiving a plaque is Seth Pearson of St. James FFA. Moving on to chapters, if you could stand to be recognized. In third place is Tri-City United FFA. In second place, receiving a plaque, is Sibley East FFA. And in first place for dairy, also receiving a plaque, is Princeton FFA. Moving on to our meat goats. Our first place individual, if they could please come down and receive a plaque, is Sam Becker of Glencoe Silver Lake FFA. Moving on to chapters. In second place, receiving a plaque, is the Alden Conger FFA chapter. In first place for the meat goats, also receiving a plaque, is the Chatfield FFA. Next is poultry. In third place for our chapter, if you could stand to be recognized, is the Watertown Bear FFA chapter. In second place, receiving a plaque, is Farmington FFA. And in first place, also receiving a plaque, is the Rushford Peterson FFA chapter.
For our rabbits. Our third place chapter, please, if you would stand and be recognized, is Glencoe Silver Lake FFA. Our second place chapter, receiving a plaque, is the GFW Pioneer Express FFA. And in first, also receiving a plaque, is Farmington FFA. Now for our sheep. Our third place chapter was the Cannon Falls FFA. Our second chapter, receiving a plaque, is the Howard Lake Waverly Wasteland FFA. And in first, receiving a plaque, is Chatfield FFA. Now for swine. In our individual, our first place individual herdsman was Zoe Rushmeyer of Glencoe Silver Lake FFA. Now for our chapters. In second, receiving a plaque, is the Zambrona Mazeppa FFA. And at first, receiving a plaque, is Glencoe Silver Lake FFA. Let's give one more round of applause for all of our herdsmanship winners today. Our next award area is for market livestock. We will recognize the first and second place, but only the first place winners will come forward to receive awards. For our premier chapter in the Market Livestock Award. For Market Beef, in third is the St. Clair FFA. In second was Randolph FFA. And in first to come forward to receive their plaque is the Alden Conger FFA. Now for our meat goats. In third was Triton FFA. Second, Chatfield FFA. And then first coming forward to receive their plaque is Triton FFA. For our market sheet, in third is the Stewartville FFA. Second, United South Central FFA. And then first coming forward to receive their plaque is Hayfield FFA. For our market line, in third was the United South Central FFA. In second, Sydney East FFA. And in first coming forward to receive their plaque is Alden Conner FFA. And our premier chapter market livestock trophy. In third was the Mountain Lake FFA. In second, United South Central FFA. And in first coming forward to receive their plaque is Alden Conner. Livestock awards are the species premier exhibitors. The calculation of premier exhibitors is based upon points earned throughout all the breeding classes within a specific species. Only the first place recipient should come forward to receive your award, but all winners should get a photo after the program. Starting out with Premier Chapter Breeding Awards. In beef, in third place is Morris Area FFA. In second place is Chicago F-Lake FFA. And in first place is the Randolph FFA chapter. Next, moving on to dairy. In third place is the Tri-City United FFA. In second place is Triton FFA. And in first place, come forward to receive your plaque, is Kenyon Wadamingo FFA chapter. Moving on to meat goats. In third place is the Howard Lake Waverly Winstead FFA. In second place is Triton FFA. And in first place, come forward to receive your plaque, is Alden Conger FFA chapter. To sheep. In third place is Goodhue FFA. In second place is New York Mills FFA. And in first place, receiving a plaque, is Kenyon Wadamingo FFA.
Next is swine. In third place is Kenyon Wanamingo FFA. In second place is Lewiston Altura FFA. And in first place, receiving a plaque, is the Glencoe Silver Lake FFA.
The premier chapter overall breeding livestock award is based on breeding points earned by all animals across the species exhibited here this weekend. Please welcome Mr. T.J. Brown to the microphone to announce our premier chapter for the Breeding Livestock Award.
All right. So in third place, New York Mills FFA. Second place, Randolph FFA. Coming forward with their plaque, Kenyon Wanamingo. All right. Congratulations to that chapter. Congratulations to all of our species chapters, all of our species champions. We're going to get back to species champions in just a bit with the Supremes, where we combine the breeding and the market points together. But we're going to take a little break and we're going to talk about the highest individual honor here, and that's the D.K. Baldwin Award. Okay? How many have seen the new signs in the barns, the D.K. Baldwin historic record? Yeah, we're going to keep updating that every couple of years. But this is the highest individual honor that the fair gives out to an FFA member based on their years of experience and their showing record, but most importantly, their character and exhibiting the qualities that D.K. Baldwin instilled into the fair and growing and starting and growing the FFA show. So, this year's recipient, and I really hope she's here, is Isabella Patterson from Kenyon Wanamingo. Sorry you didn't get out of that chapter photo. This one might. So, I'm glad you're here because we have a tradition of interviewing. You've probably seen one of these interviews in the past, right? All right. So, first of all, who are your folks?
My parents are Mike and Rebecca Patterson. They're sitting right over there.
Okay, congratulations, Mom and Dad. There we go. What species have you exhibited?
Swine and sheep.
And how many years now for showing FFA?
So I started when I was an 8th grader, so from 2016 until now.
Very good. What is one of your favorite memories showing here at the State Fair in that time?
I guess I love coming to FFA because you just get to hang out with your friends. It's another show you get under your belt, and just like making memories, running around the fair, hanging out with your friends, and having fun is that's the most memorable part for me.
Hey, that's great. Last question. There's a bunch of young exhibitors in this room, and you're reaching the end of your FFA career here, but what advice did you give to some of those young ones as you look back at the last, half a dozen years you've shown?
Well, if you have an animal in the barn, bring it. It doesn't matter if it's the best one or the worst one. You get more points if you bring it. And just cherish the time that you have with your friends here because it goes by really fast. And I will never forget this, and I will always be super thankful for the friends that I've made and the connections with people that I have met here. So just take your time, soak it all in. You won't forget this.
Very good job. Congratulations. Well done. Okay. So get you a photo. All right. So, I'm really thankful for all of you for, putting up with the heat the last couple days, the fact that you're still here. A lot of your livestock went home last night. There's a few still in the barn, but the fact, I honestly thought that we'd maybe fill these first couple bleachers.
today because a lot of stuff left last night. So the fact that so many of you came back really shows the commitment. So I'm really happy to see that you guys are interested, seeing how things shook out, and here to support fellow chapter members. So just a huge testament to all of you exhibitors, whether you're on the livestock side, the non-livestock side. Keep that intensity up for years to come. The final award is the Supreme Chapter. Okay, so we actually started this just a few years ago. We've always given out the Premier Market and Premier Breeding Awards. We actually started combining those points a couple years to see who had the best overall chapter exhibits. So we're just going to announce the species, so when the breeding and market points are combined, and then obviously get to the overall one here in a bit. Okay? We're going to do the same thing, third, second, and then first. I believe there's plaques. Are there plaques for the first ones for these species? No? Okay. All right, so these are just announcement of each species. There is something for our overall. In beef, third place, Pipestone FFA. Second place, Alden Conger. First place, Randolph. Okay. And some of you can be listening and trying to take a guess on who you think is going to get the overall. Meat goats, third place, Chatfield. Second place, Triton. First place, Alden Conger. All right, sheep. In sheep, third place, Hayfield. Second place, New York Mills. First place, Kenyon Wanamingo. Swine, third place, United South Central. Second place, Sibley East. And first place, Alden Conger. And then obviously dairy, there's no combination because there's no market side of that, but those points still do trickle in. So there's, even if you've been trying to keep track and guess, those points trickle in here for the overall Supreme. Third place, just again being recognized, third place, Kenyon Wanamingo FFA. I do believe we have a second place plaque here, right? All right, so second place, come forward, Randolph FFA. All right, and before I announce the final one, a couple of things. If you do want photos, if you haven't gotten a chapter photo with your award, please stay and do that. And just thank you again for putting up with the heat. We're super happy to have you here. And our top FFA chapter at the Minnesota State Fair for 2023 is Alden Conger FFA.
Congratulations to our exhibitors, and thank you to families, volunteers, and especially our FFA advisors who made this show possible. Every FFA jacket gets its start in an agricultural classroom. Our shows and exhibits throughout the fair would have been empty if it were not for the hundreds of agricultural teachers and FFA advisors teaching the 40,000 Minnesota students in our schools. We appreciate all that you do and what you do.
In agriculture, food, and natural resources education, even when the fair ends, our students and teachers are back in the classroom the next day, continuing to make strides towards our future. The state fair is the conclusion of many of our projects, but tens of thousands more students at home will continue to work on their supervised agricultural experiences and work-based learning projects. As we prepare for another year, we are proud of you and we are thankful for everyone who makes this possible year after year. If you are interested in supporting the incredible things happening in agricultural education programs and FFA chapters, please consider showing your support through the purchase of the new agricultural license plate, which supports the program delivered by FFA and 4-H. The plate has already raised more than $40,000 for FFA so far.
To close out our event, we would like to have everyone in their state fair shirts join us for a group photo after, and don't forget any photos that need to be taken at backdrop when we are done. To those at home, thanks for joining us, and we hope we will connect with you and you will support your local program this year. Until our next event, this has been the 2023 State Fair FFA Awards Program. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
You guys probably could have